I love me some Star Wars. Yeah, man. I mean, The Last Jedi was pretty terrible, and Force Awakens was just okay, but I'm sure they're gonna make it up in this one. I mean, what else could possibly go wrong, right? What the fuck? Star Wars has been a major source of controversy over the last several years, ever since Disney bought Lucasfilms. Some great, some good, but mostly bad things have come from this cherished franchise. It's even gotten so bad it's carried itself outside of fiction and into the real world with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, which really doesn't contain much Star Wars. But the Rise of Skywalker, Skywalker, even though every Skywalker by the end of this movie is dead, so it should be more accurately called the Fall of Skywalker. Whatever. But the Fall of Skywalker is the cumulative effect of Disney and Lucasfilms not understanding Star Wars, and instead treating it like a Phase 3 Marvel movie and failing because of it. Getting woke and claiming the Force is female and then shitting on a good portion of your fan base is a recipe for disaster. Look at what happened when they gave the exclusive license to EA, the least liked gaming company in the world. Both Battlefronts suffered. The Fallen Order game was refreshing, but it had its problems. Creating a Mary Sue whose one bad trait is that she's too trusting makes for a good story does not. Don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with a woman running center stage in Star Wars. There have been many female characters in Star Wars that are amazing, some even more beloved than most male characters. Some would say that they've always been a strong female presence since the very first Star Wars film, Princess Leia Organa. She was literally the first person we saw in the first film actually standing up against the Empire.
Only you could be so bold.
The Imperial Senate will not sit still for this. When they hear you've attacked a diplomatic...
Don't act so surprised, Your Highness. You weren't on any mercy mission this time. Several transmissions were beamed to the ship by rebel spies. I want to know what happened to the plans they sent you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission.
She seems pretty tough to me. What is that you say? But she had to get help by the patriarchy when Luke and Han had to save her from the Death Star? If I remember, she was the one who wound up saving them when they came up with the half-assed plan.
Some rescue. You came in here, didn't you have a plan for getting out?
He's the brains! We are...
Who are you?
What the hell are you doing?
Somebody has to save our skins. Into the garbage, flyboy!
She looks smart and capable to me, but what do I know? So I decided to take a look at all the inconsistencies and plot holes in the Fall of Skywalker. I'll be using this handy counter here. It'll keep track of all the canon-breaking things done in this movie. It already should show one because this movie broke canon in the opening crawl by saying Palpatine was alive. The movie opens to 3 TIE fighters flying towards a Star Destroyer. Then we see what can only be described as a montage of Kylo Ren fighting these robot creatures who for some reason are fighting with poles against a lightsaber. Okay, look at this move. Did he just fucking moonwalk? Are they just tall Jawas? Yeah, they look like Jawas. So we watch Kylo Ren cut them down. Easy, no challenge at all. To get to a Wayfinder. Why didn't we just call this thing what it really is? A Sith holocron. Oh, a Wayfinder. So he can find his way. Oh, I get it now. I almost came close to actually having to think. So he's off to find Palpatine. Great. Hopefully we'll find out why or even how he's returned. So Kylo arrives on the planet. When he enters the building, Palpatine tells him that he made Snoke and that he's all the voices he's ever heard. What? Since when could a Jedi or a Sith do something like this? Is this a mind trick? I thought mind tricks couldn't be used on Force wielders. Even some species were resistant to it entirely. But we're supposed to believe that Kylo has been having this done to him for years, while Palpatine has been in the unknown region of the galaxy? How powerful do you want us to believe he is? The Force is a delicate art that takes practice and even then has its limitations. You can't have him be a god like Thor or do anything like Doctor Strange. This isn't a fucking Marvel movie. Rian Johnson fucked up The Last Jedi so badly, they had to reanimate a corpse to try to make this movie work. I'm sorry. Got a little carried away there. So Kylo threatens to kill Palpatine. Palpatine goes on to give the only explanation on how he returns.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
The dark side must have been behind the whole sequel trilogy because all three of these films have been unnatural. Instead of killing this abomination like he was there to do, Kylo decides to work for Palpatine because ships. Now pay attention because this whole movie is full of character motivations that just flip without a real reason, besides the script told him to. But let's go back for a second. How did he manage to get all those ships out of the ice at the same time? Did he use the Force to lift them out? Or was the spark from his fingers just a signal for them to come out of hiding? No way anyone is so powerful with the Force that they can lift hundreds of Star Destroyers out of the ice all at the same time. Since when was the First Order lacking ships? And couldn't Kylo still kill him and take his ships anyway? How did he even get all these ships? Along with the list of other questions that this whole plot hole brings up. And we're only 6 minutes into the movie, for fuck's sake. Palpatine orders Kylo to kill Rey to get the ships. Gotcha. Cut to the Millennium Falcon as we meet up with Chewie, Finn, and Poe. An alarm goes off and they walk past the slug who is fixing the Falcon. How the fuck is the slug who has no arms fixing anything? It doesn't even have tentacles. How could this thing use any tools? Fuck Disney, come on. They fly to what looks like Asgard. Oh look, another secret message that has to get to the rebels. Oh, I'm sorry, the Resistance via a droid. That's amazingly original. Suddenly the First Order show up out of nowhere. How'd they even know where they were? Fuck, the writers must have told them. Now they're on a run, and I must point this out, and I like to say that Oscar Isaac and John Boyega in these films, I love their acting. It's never been a problem in most cases. It's just the writing or lack thereof that make me hate them so much. So, yeah, where was I? Oh yeah. So the second cannon destroying concept, light speed skipping. Now the idea itself isn't bad, but how it's executed is just horrific. Poe jumps from one planet to another, and the First Order seem to follow him, even though these jumps are random. How is this possible? Poe couldn't even have calculated a flight path in such a little amount of time to jump randomly to different places. How did he stop so close to the planet and not crash? How did the First Order jump to the same place without any knowledge of where he was jumping to? JJ broke light speed when he decided that Han could jump in light speed and out of light speed before crashing into Starkiller Base. Such bullshit. This is just so stupid. Again, another example of treating this like a Marvel movie. And it was established in The Last Jedi that the First Order could track any ship once they scanned it, a lazy writer trick to keep the plot going that ultimately destroys the universe Lucas had built. Next, we meet up with Rey, the Disney Wonder Princess, who can do things again with the Force that has never been seen. She is hovering 10 feet off the ground while floating large stones around her. How can she do this with no training? 2 films with literally no training, but she has been using advanced Force techniques from the very beginning.
That's not how the Force works.
The key is techniques. They aren't powers, Disney. These are skills learned over time with hours, if not years of practice to master. This is like saying, just because I'm good with my hands, I could build a perfect skyscraper my first time with no mistakes without any knowledge of what the tools are or how they work. Then we get a training montage. Too little too late, Disney. She's already shown us she can do everything without it. I wish they would have reconsidered putting Carrie Fisher in this movie. The lines that they put together are just awkward from the old footage, and it just doesn't really add anything to the film. They have a nice exchange, which ends in Poe saying that they need Rey out there because she's the best fighter they have. Not really sure why they would need her in that situation because he's their best pilot and Finn's proven himself on the cannons, but great. I think she needed to hear that she was the best. And then we hear this.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
It's like they used the same sentence JJ used when he was trying to brainstorm ideas for this movie. We get a one-off comment about how the Sith could clone themselves. How does he know what the Sith can do? Why isn't Leia, the Jedi Master, the one saying something about what only the Jedi could know? And since when was it possible to clone a Force-sensitive being? I guess we'll get back to that. We find out that Palpatine has given them a time limit to kill him like it's a video game. This is a major plot hole. What is Palpatine's goal here? What is motivating him at this point? Does he want to rule the galaxy? If so, why treat this like a game of hide and seek by counting down and telling everyone you're coming? It makes no sense. Was he just trying to get Rey to come to him by giving him this message? But if that's the case, isn't there better ways to do that without giving up your whole fucking entire plan? Fuck me, this shit is stupid. So Rey sets off to pick up where Luke left off with Finn and friends. Rose was going to come, but JJ saw to it that she was sidelined for this side quest that will turn into 3 more side quests. Cut to a different planet where we're with Kylo Ren, and he's getting his mask fixed because no one breaks JJ's toys. And looky, it's the Knights of Ren. I hope these guys don't just stand around and do nothing the whole film. The movie even goes out of its way to tell us how cool they are.
Knights of Ren. Cool.
What a waste. We go into a First Order meeting where questions are raised about Palpatine's motivations, but JJ doesn't want us to think about that, so the guy gets choked. Rey and the crew land on a desert rave planet. They go down into the rave where Poe warns them that the First Order always has patrols on planets like these, which makes me think, how big is the First Order anyway? In The Last Jedi, we were made to believe not big enough to overpower one ship for an entire movie. Now we're supposed to believe that they have patrols on every planet, even one as random as this one?
Fuck off.
Rey is approached by a local who loves her some Rey, but she wants to know about Rey's family. Ouch. Too soon, alien chick. Too soon. Then all of a sudden, boom, Force Skype. Great, a call I can't ignore. And if Snoke's making these things possible, why are they still happening? More on that later. So Kylo says to her, Palpatine wants her dead. Kylo has a different plan though. He's gonna turn Rey to the dark side. I thought Kylo wanted those sweet, sweet ships. How's he gonna get them if he doesn't kill Rey? Why does Kylo even want this? He has about as much motivation to turn her to the dark as she has to turn him to the light. Come on, he kidnapped and tortured you. You watched him kill his father. He's responsible for the deaths of billions. That's illions with a B. And you want to change him back after only knowing him really for a couple days? What's going on here? Why is this happening? That's it for now. That's just all I can handle. All the stupidity I can handle in one session. Plus, this video is already long enough. You'd be lucky to make it through this far anyway, but fuck me, this is so dumb. So this is part 1 of, I guess, I don't know, 3 parts. I'll probably make it 3 parts. I'll try to make it 3 parts series. So check in, tune in for the next one. We'll be trying to drop that within a week or so. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Dr. Fleek here. Just want to thank you for watching my channel. No, I'm not going to ask you to smash any likes or click on any subscriptions. I don't think you're sheep who need to be told how to think. What the fuck am I talking about? This is YouTube.